Hey, Cyndilu here, and I'm here today with my friend Cindy. So it's the Cindy and Cindy show. Cindy Lou Who and Cinderella. So this is my friend Cindy Sawyer, and today we are literally going to have a kickback, be ourselves, talk to each other. She lives in Kentucky, and I now live in New Zealand. And I went to her house one time. I've only been to her house once. And the day that I went, there must have been a rainstorm or something before, but I had to drive over a Ford, like not the car kind of Ford, but like the Ford that are on the ground that I never knew what they were until I went over the one at her house. I'm like, what was that? So she lives out in the boonies, but not in the boonies. She's closer to town than you would think. Her husband is an amazing artist. Her children are doing fantastic things. They're speaking, they're singing. What else are your children doing? I'm going to let Cindy introduce herself, her husband, and her children just for a quick minute herself. Go for it, Cindy.
Hey, so my husband, Stephen Sawyer, has Art for God, and his work has been all over the world. He's got one picture now that did, I want to say, 280,000 shares on Facebook in a week, which triggered an interview on CBN because they saw the shares and they wanted to talk about that painting called Calvary. Usually the comment we get when people see that painting and they find out he's the artist, they go, "You painted that?" It's a surprise. And then, we have a gallery in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and our daughter Hart Sawyer, that's Hart, old family name, is a singer-songwriter, and she's in Los Angeles doing her thing and doing well. And I have two kids in Kentucky, Fanta and Van. Fanta works with me in the healing arts business, and Van's young. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do, and our Bella, our youngest, has a family and lives in France. And our oldest son and his wife are getting ready to move to Mexico, and they have two kids. And so I've got a lot of places to travel.
How awesome is that? So, do you travel to see your kids everywhere that they are? And do
Yes.
you go like when they're doing performances, when Hart's doing performances? Are you like there?
I've really missed going to see a lot of her performances because I used to go as many as I could when she was in Nashville and Georgia. But when she moved to Los Angeles, it made it harder. So I think it was a year and a half ago. I think it was that. Maybe it was 2 years ago. She says, "Mom, it's time for you to come out now because it's not the small audience anymore." So she was the headliner for a thing called Lightning in a Bottle. And I flew out to see that, and I was completely blown away by the production and the show and all that. So maybe once a year I go see her, and once a year France, and probably once a year in Mexico when they go there. Right now they're in Dallas. So
How fun. So, tell me what your favorite, like, be out there bold thing to do is.
oh, wow. I don't know. I mean, I know things that I've done before that were cutting edge, and I had no idea what I was doing, but just did it, not being afraid to just do it. Um, I've always sort of, dressed the way I wanted to dress, you know, be what felt good to me instead of following what's in style or um, kind of the cookie cutter, fashion or whatever.
Well, I remember the first time that I met you. I think we instantly connected. Like it was absolutely instant. And I think that's part of it is we don't care. We're just going to wear what we want, do what we want, be who we are. And even though I've struggled coming into the fullness of that and the confidence and everything from my traumatic background, I saw in you a boldness that attracted me to you instantly. So
That's
you carry that naturally. And I want you to know that. You just naturally carry that. You, to me, are a natural innovator, a natural person to lead the pack. You're
oh,
not afraid to jump into something that to others might seem a little bit over the top or not quite ready or still too new,
Yeah.
you're
What,
willing to go there and do it.
what do they call that? I've heard the term where some people will do it after it's been around a long time, but they're too afraid to do it right when it comes out. There's a word for that, but I can't remember what that is.
The adopters, they're
Adopt,
the
late
so
adopt.
you're the early adopters will do it like right away, and
Hmm.
then there's the they adopt it late or
Late
the
adopters. Or,
late adopters, yeah. So they're like after there's all the proof, after they know it's going to happen,
right.
um, then they're doing that.
Yeah.
So because you are that way, and I know you know that you are that way, how many different things, like, do you have friends that look at you and say, what are you doing now? Or
Oh yeah.
are they like okay with it?
No, it's more like what what are you doing now so I can get involved, or
Okay. So
more.
there's a trust level that's
Yeah,
been built.
yeah, absolutely. Because
How do,
even though I'm an early adopter, I think I'm a wise early adopter.
yes, I've seen some of your stuff and you do your research and you share your research with other people. Like if you find something, you're not afraid to share it. Natural activist, I guess I would call you.
Yeah, I think so.
I know, can't use that word. I meant to not use that word. And I used it anyway. Oh, well, too bad you're outed now.
You know what they put me in the newspaper? I almost had a T-shirt made because I was so excited. It was so cute to me. In the newspapers, they wrote a headline, front page news: Kentucky's Brockovich. You know who Aaron Brockovich is?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh my
So so did you like did you plaster that all over Facebook and say, ah, look at this? Or was this
God. I
before
was
Facebook time?
doing Facebook back then. It was right when the Brockovich movie came out, and everything I was doing was exploding. And I think my class action that I created was bigger than hers, but I didn't get the movie, but I got to meet her, and I liked her. And for them to say that, it was like didn't matter that they didn't have my name there. It was Kentucky's Brockovich. It had said volumes in that
Yeah.
sentence.
That you, really that says you're worth being listened to, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you know her story, if you know Erin's story,
Hmm.
at first they didn't think she was worth being listened to, but she sure proved that what she had to say was important.
One thing
And
that when I would be interviewed about that, I would be asked a question like, "How in the world did you do that? Are you a lawyer? Are you a paralegal? Are you this, that, and the other? Are you a doctor? How did you do that?" And I said, "Well, first of all, I wasn't afraid to let the fact that I didn't have a degree get in my way, and I just reverse engineered it."
okay.
Yeah.
So, do you feel that a lot of people are looking for the outside approval before they jump in and do something that others might consider bold?
Maybe that's true, and maybe they just don't have the confidence. I mean, failure wasn't an option. I didn't even think I might fail. I just went, I'm doing this. Maybe if you think about failing, you might get scared of it. It didn't even occur to me that it might be a total failure. So, and it was a $1 billion success.
Wow,
uh,
that's amazing.
Helped a lot.
And
So,
I was going to say, and great for all of those people that you
yeah,
helped.
I think that the three class actions that I've started, I think probably the thing that made me so strong is the vision, the bullseye or whatever wasn't focused on what I'm doing. It was focused on what I'm doing for them.
Hmm.
And um, my ego didn't get involved. It wasn't about me. It was about, I've got to help these people now, you know. And
So
that
it was about how to help people, really.
Oh, yeah. And so when the focus was off of me and onto them, and just like the Brockovich movie, how she engaged with them and cried with them and all that. And when they died, she cried, same stuff happened, with what I was doing. And you just get such a deep conviction to get this job done in spite of anything. And so if it was focused on what I was doing, maybe I would have gotten scared. I don't know, but it was focused on what I was doing for other people.
So, what caused you to want to do the first one? Like the first time that you did a class action suit? Like, I'm sure you didn't know what you were doing, right? I mean, you just
No, in
had
fact,
this desire to help these people. And
I plan on doing it. The first one was my girlfriend said, I'm dying. She showed me a box of medical records. She says that she didn't think she was going to be here very much longer. And we're talking about she was probably in her 30s. And she says, you need to help me. No one will help me. Every place she called to try to get involved in a class action with attorneys, nobody would call them back. So I took her box and I started calling all the places that supposedly had signups for this class action. So that one was already going on. But nobody could get signed up because no calls weren't being returned. And so I thought, this is a big mistake. So then I took it to an attorney and I said, you need to start a class action here in Kentucky for people to sign up. And so he went, no, if you do it, I'll do it. You do it all and I'll do it. And I said, okay. And so I, again, reverse engineered what I could find. And this is kind of before internet a little bit. I mean, I didn't even have an email account, so a lot of it was like the olden days of getting on the phone and calling people. So, so we did that, and it was through the United States for that class action, and our group of people in that class actions was the largest numbers to get a category of any other attorney in the United States. And is because I knew exactly what to do, and I knew exactly what to tell the doctors that we needed them to do. And
wow.
I had that talk with them so they didn't just drop the ball. Because if no category, no money. So
That's really interesting because that was like you focused on that one thing, that one category, and you targeted it, and you really set up. I'm kind of intrigued by this. So you set up a path for the doctors to be able to quickly do what they needed to do to help their patients.
absolutely. I mean, I would scold them even. I mean, I interviewed them and I go, will you do this? Will you do it exactly like this? And then they would say yes. And because I'm getting ready to give them 1,000 patients in 1 second.
Wow.
And, one doctor screwed up 5 of them, and I scolded him, got him on the phone, scolded him, how dare you? And I pulled all of his appointments. And then I found another example, certified rheumatologist. And I said, will you do this? And he did. He did it properly. He did it correctly so that the forms were turned in without any glitch, without any.
And because you are who you are and you do your research first, you knew exactly what the steps were that were going to cause success to happen.
Right.
That's flipping amazing. So you think about now with some of the things that you're doing, the products and things that you're doing, and applying that to your marketing.
Right. Right.
I'm just telling, that's a little hint for you.
One of the little products, it's one of my favorite things. To me, it's life extension. But I'll tell people, for example, I'll do free sessions on this, and I'll say, a 0 to 30-year-old gets 45 to 50 pumps in their microcapillaries, and if they're healthy, and a healthy 65-year-old gets 1. I just put you on this device. You are now not 1 anymore. You might be 20, but the choices are yours. Do you want 1 or do you want 45? Because in the 45 area is when you heal. But it's good to have a choice. I just put it in their lap. It's okay. Choice is yours. Here's what we have. Choice is yours. cellular supplements, educate people on iodine, all kinds of things, to gut health and um,
Our bodies are very multi systems,
mm-hmm.
and I think that some people, especially in the supplement world, think they've got the supplement
Yeah,
or the answer. And you don't eat just one food or drink one drink. So
right,
why do we think that one supplement is going to do it for us?
exactly.
It's like, okay, so, but you need to find the one that is going to best work and resonate with your body, because everybody's body is different and the supplements that you need are uniquely to your body.
Yeah, because each one of us is our own science experiment. I mean, you might not need iodine, I might be critically low. One thing I
Right.
believe is we all need desperately trace minerals. I think that our food shortage, for example, I'm always preaching about trace minerals. Liquid, um,
Liquid trace minerals.
yeah,
Good to know. Good to know.
and cell phone
Uh,
protection, and Wi-Fi
oh,
protection, and dirty electricity, smart meters, things of that nature. There's so much to look at. Sometimes it gets overwhelming, and one thing that I do not do usually, sometimes it'll come out, but I won't tell someone the bad news of something that I've learned that it might actually hurt me, that I just learned that. And I'm like, oh my God, I just learned that. I can't undo the learning, but I won't share it because there's not an antidote to that one thing I learned. So if I can't change it, I don't want to make my kids depressed or my husband. If I learn something that right now there's nothing I can do about it, I will not share it.
I think that's really important. And I also feel that there's people out there that are trying to be bold, but they're really wanting everybody to come to their own understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not sharing what they've learned out of the goodness of their heart. And they're not sharing in a way that's going to help the people they're sharing it with. They're sharing so that they can believe the way they do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the other thing, I, my husband says, don't do that. But I call myself a garage scientist because I research so much and study so much. And I speak at a science group several times a year. Sometimes I haven't in a while because I'm so busy. But I speak to them, and I said we all in this room need to be willing to change our minds on the drop of a dime if we find out that what we knew was wrong, because a lot of people don't want to change their minds because they've been preaching it for 5 years. And if you learn at a paradigm shift that, oh my, it was better to do this than that or not that at all, just, it's okay. You learn something new. That's
Well,
evolving.
let me give an example of that. I grew up in a household where sarcasm was the number one humor. So much so that I didn't realize that sarcasm was also painful.
Verbal
To
abuse,
most people,
yeah.
sarcasm is painful.
Yeah.
And so all my humor was sarcastic, all of it. And I'm laughing and cracking up, and everybody around the table is going, "Ooh, oh," and they're laughing too. I mean, there is humor in it,
Yeah.
right? Because we are, but it's self-deprecating humor,
Yeah.
or it's deprecating the other person.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for 20 years that I found out that that was not funny to most people. So
Wow.
I've had to completely learn how to do humor differently and stop the sarcasm. And so I had to go on like a sarcasm fast for a while. And it's still hard because every now and then I hear my dad and I'm laughing at him.
I bet you set it in your head and you shut it down, and then, the filter, you were filtering it, and then
Yes.
till it just went away.
Yep.
Does it ever
Yeah.
crop up every now and then?
Every now and then it'll still crop up. But in general, I'm at least not coming back with that sarcastic thing like every time I turn around, which I did. I didn't even know I was doing it. We don't always even know that we're doing something that's hurtful to other people until somebody has basically the balls to come along and tell us,
yeah,
that's really hurtful to me.
Yes.
The way you're doing that is painful. I'm like, whoa.
You know, because then it also hurts when you get reprimanded, scolded, or tried to be enlightened by someone's opinion of how they experienced you. But once you allow yourself to hear them, it just makes you grow.
If you allow it.
Yeah.
If you let it. So what's been your biggest challenge being you?
Oh boy. You know, I have a whole lot of things in the fire, and sometimes doing that, if you know, the attention is diluted on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that part, I guess, is a bit of a challenge because I still have so many things in the fire. Maybe fewer, but they're still there.
Is that frustrating to you personally, or do you feel it's frustrating to others?
Oh, not necessarily to others. I think it's personally, you know, I have great children's books that I never got out. Well, I should have, you know, or, you know, just things, unfinished business that is very good, but it's just what I'm focused on right now might not be that. Maybe it'll come back up in its season at the right time.
Yeah. Learning to focus on what's in front of us,
Mm-hmm.
and learning to find the clarity of what are we called to do now, and realize that, yes, those things will come back up if they're to come back up.
Right.
And learning to focus on the one thing right now has been my biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And I feel like this Be Bold You, interviewing other people and helping them get out there, and also teaching people how to do that and how to reprogram your brain so that you can step into your dreams is kind of my one thing now.
Right.
And I've not been able to focus on one thing ever in my whole life. So this is the first time.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
And I am absolutely loving it, every minute of it. And I'm so grateful to you to jump on here when it's still very much the beginning of it for me.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, and helping me to learn, helping me to explore what we can do with this. And I would love if anybody had any comments or questions for either of us, to go ahead and type them in there. If you're watching on the replay, push #replay and post your questions, and both of us will come back and check it out. If Cindy doesn't see it, I'll make sure she gets the question, and she'll help, you know, answer questions for you guys.
Yeah.
There's only one watching live right at this moment, at this very minute. So if you have any questions, go ahead and post them. So do you have anything else you'd like to share with the world that's just burning in you?
Oh my gosh. Oh, contact me and I'll share stuff that I can't share here, you know, that I'm more quiet about. Gosh. Go to heartsawyer.com. Look at HARTSAWYER on Facebook. My mom's sitting over here.
Heart's amazing, by the way, everybody. Heart is amazing. Her voice is just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, what else? I would say go to artforgod.com. I've got a website that's in the process of being done, but it's not ready
So
yet.
when that gets done, you can give it to me and we'll post it right into the copy of this at the top. So that'll be great. And if anyone has not seen her husband's work, go to the art4god.com and visit that. I might actually put that on here. because it is so good. Artforgod.com. Show. Check this out. Check this out, Cindy. Wow.
Oh,
Is that
good.
not cool? Yeah. So, yeah, his stuff is amazing. He's got videos on his page that you can see where he does chalk drawings. Is he still doing that?
He does it once a month at our friend's wonderful, huge, oh, it's like a mansion bed and breakfast, and they have a pub. And it sort of started as a joke, and then it just never stopped. Once a
I
month.
know, and people look forward to it, and I've seen people cry about like him erasing one. It's like,
Oh,
no, don't take it down.
yeah, they have no idea. A lot of the people have no idea that he's getting ready to erase it, and he kind of likes that, you know, because then they get all, "What are you doing?" Because they think he's the help or something. Don't erase that. And then he says, "Well, I got to erase it to make a new."
I
Which
can't
that's
make another one.
isn't it? Got to erase it to make a new. One of the things my husband always says when he's helping me let go of something, he goes, "You can't hang on and let go at the same time." When I'm trying to let go of something, I reflect on that often.
Got to make up your mind, right?
Yeah.
Which way is it going to be, baby?
Hey, is that Steve?
There he is.
Is that the man? Come on. Tell him to come in here. Say hi. Tell him
Okay,
Cyndilu wants to say hello. Come on, dude. Hey, how are you?
I'm burned up. I've been eat up with insects. I've been mowing.
Oh, mowing. Yay, lucky you. We're just coming into the mowing season. Y'all are just coming out of it.
It's like 5 feet tall, and the reason I quit is because the tractor started overheating.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
What are you working on for art these days, Steve?
Well, I'm doing a new mural. Calvary had another resurgence. It's gone around the world several times, but right now, some lady was at our store in Gatlinburg and interacted with our employee who's an ex-addict, lovely lady. And the thing went viral, and one thread alone had over 250,000 shares. And then if you try to trace and track all of them that spun off of it, it's, who knows, way over 500,000. But
I bet it's over 1 million by now, actually. Because
Well-
500,000 was a few days ago, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? We're on
We
live.
are we're doing Facebook Live. It's a Be Bold You interview live, interviewing people I feel are bold in living out their dreams and not afraid to speak their voice. And now let me tell you, if there's a couple that embodies that, it's you two.
You know, if I hadn't met us, I'd say we're pretty cool. But since I have met us, you know, I mean, we're all right.
Oh, come on. You let me come to your house. You're all right.
Yeah. Well, I've got a new one for you to come to as soon as I get done.
Oh, man. When I get back there, it'll be a while, but I'll get there. Well, Cindy, it has been almost half an hour. So we are going to say goodbye.
Okay.
And thank you so much for being here, for being a part of my new endeavor and exploration of bold and being bolder.
Absolutely.
So if anyone has, again, any questions for us, we'll put that Art for God up there for a website for you guys to connect with, and we'll also put Heart Sawyer's up there. And when Cindy gets her website ready, that will be there too. So in the meantime, if you want to stay connected with me, like my Facebook page if you haven't already. And my website is also going to be out there soon. Bye, Steve. Bye, Cindy. Thank you.